Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome everyone to our Saturday evening Bhagavad Gita discussion. Bhagavad Gita in 18 days, one chapter a day as a summary. So we'll start with Kirtan today and then we'll continue with our discussion on chapter 2. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Vallabh Radha Gopi Jana Vallabh Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol 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 Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Shri Radha Kunj Bihari Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Radha Gopi Jan Vallabh Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai. Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Once again, welcome everyone to our Saturday evening Bhagavad Gita discussion. So today we will be discussing on Chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. Last Saturday we discussed Chapter 1. The Chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita is titled as Arjuna Vishada Yoga, or Observing the Armies on the Battlefield, Sanya Nirakshan. And today, Chapter 2 is titled as Sankhya Yoga, or it's also called Contents of Gita Summarized. Overall Bhagavad Gita summary in one sense. So Chapter 1, we know we discussed it with an acronym, doubt. Okay, the flow of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we use the acronym doubt. So the first section was talking about Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, their mindset, their mentality. Then O is observing the armies on both sides, or also the omens of victory. What are the omens of victory for the Pandavas which are already present? And then U is unfailing mercy of the Lord. And B is bewilderment of Arjuna. And T is the tragic response of Arjuna, his different reasons for not fighting in this war. And we talked about specifically 5 reasons which Arjuna gave why he does not want to fight. First reason was his compassion for the family members, his compassion for his relatives. Second is loss of happiness. If we kill all these relatives, even if we gain the whole kingdom, we will not be able to live happily. Third reason is fear of sinful reaction. By killing all these relatives, our superiors, elders, we have to face the sin. We have to face the sinful reaction. And fourth was the loss of family traditions, or Varna Sankara. The family traditions will be lost, which will lead to corruption of the society. It will lead to unwanted progeny. And fifth reason of Arjuna is indecision. Indecision means he says, I do not know what I should do. I do not know what is best for us. So these are the 5 reasons which Arjuna gives why I do not want to fight. So far Lord Krishna has not spoken. It's only Arjuna speaking. And the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita opens with Arjuna's kind of final conclusion. The 5th reason which Arjuna is giving comes actually in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And finally Arjuna surrenders to the Lord for guidance. Okay, so we are going to start with chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. And the acronym which we are going to use for second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is Gita itself. Okay, Gita, Gita. That is the acronym we are going to use to understand the flow of this whole chapter. How does this flow? The first set of verses of second chapter, G, is Guru. Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, accepting Krishna as his Guru. And he says, please, I am a soul surrendered unto you. Please, you instruct me. So Arjuna taking shelter of Lord Krishna in the form of as a guru-disciple relationship. So the G stands for Guru. I stands for identity. Who we are. Yeah, that is the first and foremost knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. When Lord Krishna takes the role of a guru, takes the role of a spiritual master, the first and foremost knowledge or the instruction Lord Krishna gives is our real identity. Okay, who we are. We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. And what is the nature of the soul? And so that is the next set of verses, specifically from 11 to 30 in this chapter. And then T stands for 2 duties. What are our 2 duties? Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. So Swadharma is based on our bodily designation, our occupational duty, our family responsibility, etc. So that is called Swadharma. And Sanatan Dharma is our eternal duty, eternal responsibility as the spirit soul. What is our relationship with the Supreme Lord, and in that capacity, what is our duty? So these are the 2 duties, Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. So that is pretty much the whole section of Bhagavad Gita, especially from 31 till 53, where finally Arjuna asks another question about the characteristics of Asthita Pragya. A stands for Atmaram. Okay, Atmaram or Asthita Pragya, or somebody who is in a steady intelligence. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that you should act with steady mind, with steady intelligence, Buddhi Yoga. And Arjuna asks the question, what are the qualities of a person who is Sthita Pragya? How does he speak? How does he walk? How does he talk? How does this person act? So Lord Krishna describes the qualities of a person of steady intelligence. So that is Atmaram. So Gita, Gita, that is the flow of this chapter and the acronym we are using to understand this chapter. So again, it starts with Sanjay's response to Dhritarashtra. Sanjay is narrating to Dhritarashtra what has happened. Arjuna is posing all these different reasons, different questions to Krishna that I do not want to fight. And Arjuna sits down on his chariot by keeping aside his dhanusha, his bow. Okay, and then Sanjay is telling this. Sanjay uvacha tatha tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashru purna kulekshanam vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudana. So Sanjay is telling that in that way, with his eyes filled with tears, and in that complete morose situation, Arjuna spoke to Krishna. And in that response, what Lord Krishna started speaking back to Arjuna, so far Arjuna has not surrendered to Krishna. Okay? It's just a friendly talk going on. Arjuna is telling all these things in a friendly relationship. And Lord Krishna is also speaking to Arjuna now in the second chapter as a friendly manner only. Just giving kind of as a pep talk. Okay, just two friends are talking. One friend is describing his problem in life, what all problem he's facing, what is his dilemma and all. And the other friend may be just trying to encourage this person, right? This friend, giving him a little pep talk. So Lord Krishna is also trying to encourage Arjuna so far. Lord Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan uvacha kutastva kashamalam idam vishame samupasthitam anaryayushtam aswargyam akirtim karam Arjuna. So Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. Shri Bhagavan uvacha. It does not say Krishna uvacha, Madhusudana uvacha. Okay, in the previous verse, even though Sanjay is telling that Madhusudana has started speaking to Arjuna, that in that way when Arjuna sat down on his chariot, but now in this verse, as Lord Krishna is starting to speak, it says Shri Bhagavan uvacha. And we will discuss what is the significance of that. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, from where did this impurity came upon you? Kutastva kshamalam idam. You are an Aryan. You belong to a family which is following certain principles. From where this impurity came upon you? Why you are acting like an coward person? This act of yours will not lead to fame, but it will lead to infamy. Aswargam, akirtikaram. This will not lead you to Swarga, but this will lead you to infamy. So Lord Krishna has started speaking to Arjuna in that way. And as I said, it starts with Shri Bhagavan uvacha. What is the significance of that? Because somebody may consider that, oh, Krishna is an ordinary person. He is a cowherd boy. He was born in a Vaishya family, herding the cows. Somebody may think of Krishna as stealing the butter. He is a butter thief. Somebody else may consider Krishna as a great politician. But beyond all that, here Lord Krishna is described as Shri Bhagavan uvacha. He is not an ordinary person. Above all these different designations somebody may put on Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, and what is the meaning of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Who can be considered as the Supreme Personality of Godhead? We cannot accept any ordinary person to be the Lord. Some people claim any Baba, any Sadhu, or any particular Devi Devata to be the Supreme Lord. They consider, oh, this Babaji, he is God, or this Devi, this Sadhavi, she is God. But somebody showing little magic, little tricks, producing little gold by some magic tricks by their siddhi, it's not that they have become God. If producing little gold is the qualification to become God, then what about that person who has created all these mines gold mines and all other mines of minerals and everything. So people start considering any ordinary person as God, but what is the qualification to be considered as God? Who can be accepted as God? In Vishnu Purana, there is one shloka which describes the qualities, the characteristics of being God. It says, Aishwarasya samagrasya viryasya yashasah shreya jnana vairagyascheva shannam bhagan itangana. Somebody who possesses these 6 opulences in full, that can be considered as the Supreme Lord. And what are these opulences? What are these 6 opulences? Aishwarasya samagrasya. Aishwarya. Somebody who has all the riches, all the wealth. Somebody who can claim he owns everything. That can be considered as Bhagavan. Now, who can own everything? Somebody may have lot of money. He may have $1 billion, $1 trillion in their bank account. Somebody may be the owner of an island also. So somebody may be the owner of one country, but nobody can claim that he owns everything on this planet Earth, or what to speak of all the different planets. But Lord Krishna, he is the owner of everything. From him everything comes into existence. Even when Lord Krishna was present 5,000 years ago, at the time of Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna married 16,108 princesses, and every queen was residing in her own palace. So 16,108 palaces. So all the riches to whom it belongs, that is the Supreme Lord. And then Viryasya, somebody who is complete in strength. Virya. Now somebody may be very powerful in this world, but their strength does not remain forever. But Lord Krishna, either he is a 6-day-old baby, 6-month-old baby, 6-year-old boy, or he comes as Narsingadev, he is full in strength. Okay, as a 6-day-old baby, he killed the first demoness, Putana, who came to kill the child. So Lord Krishna, he does not have to go to a gym and lift big weights to build his muscles. He doesn't have to drink the protein powder or something. So somebody in this world may be powerful for some time, but they cannot claim they are the most powerful, and their strength does not remain forever. And Yashasaha, his Yasha, fame. Lord Krishna's fame remains forever. Somebody in this world may be famous for some time. We know some Bollywood star, Hollywood star, some sports person, some cricketer, some businessman, some scientist, who may be known for some time, but their fame does not remain forever. There are so many Hollywood, Bollywood stars which are not even known to today's generation. So who can be the most famous? That is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, his fame, even though he was stealing the butter from others' house, he is famous as Makhan Chor. Even though Lord Krishna left the battlefield, he fled the battlefield, and he is still known as Ranchhod Rai. So he is famous in all situations. And Shreya means beauty. There is nobody who can compare with the beauty of the Supreme Lord. Somebody may be beautiful in this world for some time. Again, take the example of any Hollywood, Bollywood actresses. They may be famous for their beauty for some time, but ultimately they start getting the wrinkles on their face and they hide themselves so that their fans do not see the wrinkles on their cheeks now, on their face. So nobody can have the beauty forever, and somebody who possesses all these opulences, he can be considered as the Supreme Lord. And Jnana, knowledge. In this world, again, some people may be very knowledgeable, double MBA, double PhD, lot of scholarly article on their name. Somebody may file patents also. But again, Nobody can claim that they know everything. But Lord Krishna, he claims himself in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, I know the past, present and future of every living entity for all their lifetimes. So he is the knower of everything. And Lord Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years ago to Arjuna in a matter of 45 minute to 1.5 hour time duration, these 700 shlokas. And people spent their lifetimes to understand Bhagavad Gita. There are so many people who have done PhD on one particular shloka of Bhagavad Gita. So people are doing PhDs on single shlokas. So much knowledge is there. But nobody can say they know everything. And then Vairagya. If somebody is little opulent, they have some wealth, if they have some knowledge, if they have some beauty, they become proud of their achievements. It's very difficult to have renunciation after having all these qualities. But Lord Krishna, even though he is full in Aishwarya, beauty, knowledge, strength, fame, but still he is the most renounced. At the age of 10 years, when he was living in Vrindavan, a Krurji comes to take Krishna to Mathura. And Lord Krishna says, I have to go. Duty calls. Even though all the residents of Vrindavan, all the gopis, Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, they all loved Krishna so much. But Krishna left everybody in a moment. Said, duty calls, I have to go. So most renounced. Lord Ramachandra, he was crowned to be the king. And same day morning, he is told to go to the forest for 14 years of exile. And Lord Ramachandra, immediately in a moment, he left everything. He did not worry about, I was to be crowned the king and now I am told to go to forest, exiled. So most renounced. So that is Bhagavan. So the qualification of Bhagavan is who possesses all these 6 opulences in full. So we cannot claim anybody, any ordinary person, some Baba with some mystic power or some other Devi Devata to be equal to the Supreme Lord. That's why Bhagavad Gita opens with, when Lord Krishna starts speaking, it opens with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, to drive away this misconception that nobody should consider Krishna as any ordinary person, that he was an ordinary person, a cowherd boy or a diplomat or politician or something. He is the Supreme Lord. That's why his words have that weightage. It matters what he is going to speak. Because if Arjuna is speaking to just his friend and an ordinary person, Krishna, then this discussion does not have much importance. Right? Just 2 friends talking, how does it matter to everybody? But it's Lord Krishna personally himself speaking. That's why it's very, very important and everybody should pay attention what Krishna has to say. And then Krishna, as he started speaking, first of all, he's speaking in a friendly manner. He is asking Arjuna to kind of encourage him to fight. Hey, you are Aryan. You should not be acting in this cowardly manner. This will not lead to your fame, but it will lead to infamy. But Arjuna, in the response, Arjuna says, Katham bhishmaham sankhe dronam cha madhusudana ishubhi pratiyoshyami pujarva arisudana. So what is Arjuna saying? Hey Madhusudana, O killer of the enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle to men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? So Arjuna is again counterposing an argument. Arjuna is saying, I am not acting out of cowardliness, but how can I counterattack my superiors who are worthy of my worship? Elders, like great-grandfather or the teacher, they should be respected. They should be always respected. So that was his strongest argument. Elders should be respected as per the Vedic injunction, as per our Vedic culture. Elders should not be given even verbal argument, a verbal fight. Even if the elders chastise us, they yell at us, we should not be counter-attacking, counter-yelling at them. Not about today's culture. Today's culture is completely perverted. If the parents kind of chastise the child, shout at them loudly to point out their mistake, the children also shout back. Right? That is today's culture. We are not talking about, because today's culture is completely corrupted situation. As per the Vedic culture, the elders should be respected and they should not be given even verbal fight, verbal argument. And here Arjuna is saying it is the matter of now fighting with them, counter-attacking them with weapons. How is that possible? And indirectly, as if Arjuna is asking Krishna, Krishna, if you were in my place, what will you do? If it was your grandfather Ugrasena in front of you and you have to fight, will you lift up weapon and fight with Ugrasena? If it was your guru Sandipani Muni and you had to fight with him, will you be able to fight with Sandipani Muni? And you are asking me to fight. How is that possible? How can I do that? So that was Arjuna's strongest argument. And then Krishna is telling, Arjuna is further telling that it will be better for me to live on begging. Gurur nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhuktam bheksham apiha loke. It is better for me to live on begging rather than at the cost of the lives of these great souls who are our teachers, grandfather. Even though they are desiring the worldly gain, they are standing in front of us with a desire to fight. If they are killed in this war, everything we enjoy will be tainted with their blood. So again he is kind of posing that same concern, that loss of enjoyment. Even if we win by killing them, it will be all tainted with their blood and we will not be able to enjoy in that way. So Arjuna is saying, I am ready to live on begging, but I cannot live at the cost of killing these great souls. If we kill them, everything will be tainted with blood. And finally, Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. After posing all these different arguments, finally, what is Arjuna saying? Text 2.7 is very important. That is the turning point where now Arjuna finally takes shelters of Krishna. So this 2.7 text is very, very important. Karpanya dosho upahata svabhava prachhami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So Arjuna is telling, I am confused about my duty and I have lost all the composure. So Karpanya dosho upahata svabhava. Svabhava means I have forget about my nature. What was Arjuna's nature? He is a warrior. So Arjuna is saying, I am forgetting about my nature as the warrior. I am confused about my duty. Why? Because of this miserly weakness. Karpanya dosho. Prachhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. In this condition, I am asking you to tell for certain. Yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me. Please tell me for certain what is best for me. Shreyas, what is best thing for me to do? So Arjuna is taking shelter of Krishna. I am confused. I do not know what I should do, what is best for me to do. I am taking shelter of you. Please, you tell me what is best for me. Shishyasteham. Now I am your disciple. Shadimam. Tvam prapannam. I am surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So Shishyasteham, I am your disciple. Shadimam, please instruct me. Tvam prapannam, because I am surrendered unto you. So this is a turning point. Arjuna, because he is confused, the best thing Arjuna has done now is taking shelter of Krishna, accepting a higher authority to guide him. So that was the most intelligent on the part of Arjuna to do. What is intelligence? Intelligence is to know what to do when we do not know what to do, right? So if we are confused, if we do not know what to do, we should approach somebody who can help us, who can guide us. We have to seek the help from somebody who is outside of that problem, because we ourselves cannot find the solution with the same level of consciousness with which we have led into that problem. That level of consciousness which caused the problem, the same consciousness cannot help us to come out of that problem. For example, if somebody has fallen into quicksand, दलदल, अगर कोई व्यक्ति दलदल के अंदर गिर जाए, if somebody falls into quicksand, how can they come out of the quicksand? If they try on their own strength, if they keep throwing their legs and arms, struggling inside the quicksand, what will happen? They will sink more into the quicksand. But how to come out of the quicksand then? If they ask for help from somebody who is outside, if that person can throw some rope or some stick for them to catch on and then pull them out. So same way for us, sometime when we are in problem, when we are in a state of confusion, in a state of dilemma, we need to seek help from somebody who is superior to us, who is more intelligent than us, who can help us in that situation. So that is what Arjuna did. So that was most intelligent on part of Arjuna to approach Krishna for help. And Karpanya dosham, Arjuna is saying miserly weakness. In our Shastras, there are two words used, Kripana and Brahmana. Kripana means somebody who is miserly, conjuice. Who is a miserly person? Somebody who does not use what he has. Right? Let's say somebody is very wealthy person, he has a lot of wealth, but he locks up all his wealth into a tijori. जो अपना पूरा संपत्ति को एक तिजोरी में बंद करके रखे, but he does not utilize it, just live like a pauper, he lives like a beggar. So that person is known as miserly. So somebody who does not use what he has, it may be wealth, it may be strength also. Somebody has a lot of strength, but he does not utilize his strength to protect others. That is also called miser. It's the same way somebody has a lot of intelligence, but he is not utilizing his intelligence to the full capacity, but just living like animals. That also is considered as Kripana, a miserly person. Because as human beings, we are given with a lot of intelligence and we are supposed to utilize our intelligence to understand the purpose of life. But if we don't utilize that intelligence and just act on those four basic activities, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, then we are also called Kripana. Okay? So, Arjuna is saying here, Karpanya dosham, because of this miserly weakness. Kripana is always absorbed in bodily consciousness, not utilizing the human form of life for the fullest purpose. But on the other side, Brahmana is somebody who understands the goal of life, who understands the value of life. Okay, who knows that the purpose of this life is to understand the Supreme Lord. That is the purpose of Brahmana. Brahmajanati iti Brahmana. So Kripana and Brahmana, and we are supposed, the Shastras are to take us from the state of Kripana to the stage of Brahmana. And then Arjuna says, Shishyaste aham. Now I am your disciple. Shishya. Shishya words come from the root word shash. Shash means sashan karna. Okay, so shash word comes from sashan, to rule. Sashan karna. So we can be ruled by force. Okay, somebody can rule over us by force, or we can be ruled by the scriptures. So if we are ruled by the scriptures, that is what means of Shishya. Disciple means who is ready to be disciplined. And the scriptures are meant to discipline us. Guru is meant to discipline us. So Shishyasteham. Arjuna is saying, now I am your disciple. Shadhi mam, please instruct me. I am ready to receive instruction from you. Prapannam, I am surrendered unto you. Now I am fully dependent upon you. Prachami tvam, I am asking you. So finally, Arjuna is asking for advice. He is not just telling his own decision to to Krishna. Arjuna earlier he was telling his decision, I do not want to fight. Right? Earlier he was telling his decision, oh Keshava, I don't want to fight. But now, what is he saying? I am inquiring from you. You please tell me what I should do. Prachami tvam. So, this leads us to the point how to acquire knowledge. What are the methods of acquiring knowledge? In this world, most people rely on sense perception to understand this world. Sense perception means understanding the world through our various senses. Okay, so pratyaksha praman, that is also called pratyaksha praman. Pratyaksha praman means I will believe only in what I see, what I can hear, what I can feel, what I can taste. Based on all these, I will come to some understanding. So that is called pratyaksha praman or sense perception. Now, is that method of sense perception foolproof method? Is that the best method to understand? Because whatever we are trying to see or hear, that may not be real. And first of all, our senses are limited. We can see only up to certain distance. We can only hear in a particular range of frequency. Many times our senses are prone to be illusioned. You may be driving on the road, and it's a very sunny day, and you may be seeing some puddle of water on the road. Even though there is no water, but it appears to be water on the road. That is an illusion. If you put a stick inside the water and look from the outside the glass, the stick may appears to be tilted. Now the stick is not tilted, but it appears to be tilted. That is also an illusion, optical illusion. So our senses are limited. Our senses are prone to be making mistake. Our senses are limited. I cannot see beyond this wall. What is on the other side of this wall? Nobody can see. So whatever we experience based on our senses may not be the right thing, may not be the foolproof. For example, once 5 blind men, they went to the zoo and they have never heard of elephant, they have never seen the elephant, they are all blind. So they are trying to understand what is this creature. And they touch the different limbs of the animal and they try to come to a conclusion by their sense of touch. Somebody touched the trunk of the elephant and he says, oh, this elephant is something like a big hose pipe. Somebody touched the feet, the leg of the elephant, and he's thinking, oh, this elephant is like a big pillar. Somebody touched the tail of the elephant and he's thinking, oh, elephant means like a rope. Somebody touched the ear of the elephant and he thought, oh, this elephant means like the fan, the fanning thing. So somebody touched the big body of the elephant and he thought, oh, elephant means like a big wall. So with their sense of touch, they are trying to come to a conclusion what this elephant may be. Now, is elephant like a trunk, like a hose pipe or a pillar or a rope or a wall? No, somebody who can see, that person can tell these people, oh, elephant is having all these things, but elephant is like a big creature like this. So our sense perception is not a foolproof method because of the limitation of senses, because of our tendency to commit mistakes, because of our tendency to be illusioned. The second method of acquiring knowledge is called based on logic and inference. Anuman praman. If we try to come to a conclusion based on some logic, based on some argument, based on some inferences. Now, that method also is not the foolproof method to acquire knowledge, because based on that method also we can try to come to a wrong conclusion. Somebody may be putting a lot of assumptions and arguments and all these scientific theories. This is how all the scientific theories come up. Either it's a Darwin theory or a Big Bang theory. What are these theories? These are not a practical reality. Somebody has proved them in the laboratory. What are these? These are based on Anuman Praman. Somebody has put some assumptions, or maybe this is how it started and this is how it came to be. If our starting point, our first assumption itself is wrong, then the conclusion also will be wrong. And all these theories keep changing also because the newer assumptions keep coming. So this method of logic and inference, Anuman Praman is also not the foolproof method to acquire knowledge. Okay, once there was a conference of the doctors going on, all the doctors from various fields, and orthopedic doctor, neurosurgeon doctor, and general medicine doctor, all these people, they are attending a conference. And during the lunchtime, they were standing outside the building in the little, lawn area. And as they were standing and talking, one person was passing by on the sidewalk. And this person was limping his leg. He was not able to walk properly. He was limping his leg. And all these doctors, all these various doctors, orthopedic and neurosurgeon and the general medicine practitioner, all they were standing and watching. They saw this person limping. And they immediately started giving their own understanding. What is the problem with this person? Why he is limping? The orthopedician said, oh, this person, maybe his knee bone is having this particular problem and that's why he is not able to walk properly and he is limping. Other person, the neurosurgeon said, oh, maybe there is some nerve problem for this person. This nerve signal is not going properly to the brain and that's why the brain is not sending the signal properly and this person is not able to walk properly. So there is some nerve problem, nerve issue. So all these doctors are coming to their different conclusions based on their logic and inference. And ultimately they thought, oh, let's call this person and ask him and let's see among us who is right. Okay, whose logic is correct here. So they called this person and said, sir, we saw you limping and we are all giving our different understanding. Please tell us what is your real problem. So among us, who is right? What is your real problem? So this person heard all their arguments and said, you all are wrong. I have no problem. I have no nerve problem or this muscle problem or bone problem. Fine. Actually, the reality is my slipper is broken. I am not able to walk properly. So I am dragging this slipper. That's why I am limping. So people try to come to different conclusions based on their logic and inference. But ultimately, that method of acquiring knowledge is also not the right method. So then what is the right method then to acquire knowledge? That's why scripture says the third method of acquiring knowledge, that is the best method. And what is that method? It's called Shabda Praman. Hearing from a bona fide authority. Okay, if we hear from a bona fide authority, then we can come to the right conclusion. And who can be an authority? Authority is something whose version has not changed with the passing of time, who has stood the test of the time, who has never been proven wrong. So all the scientific theories, are they proven wrong at some point of time? Yes. Do they change with time? Yes. So Shabda Praman is the scriptures, the Shastras. Because whatever is mentioned in the Shastras, it has held the test of time. It has never been proven wrong. And what was written 5,000 years ago is true today also. And it does not change with the passing of time. It's not that somebody has changed. Oh, this was true 5,000 years ago, but it is not true now. And today's world, maybe this wording should be changed to this one. No, that does not happen. So that is called authority. That is called Shabda Praman. So there is a descending method of acquiring knowledge and ascending method. Ascending method is from bottom to top. We try to go from bottom to top by our sense perception, by logic and inference, but that is not the right method. That is not the foolproof method. But the descending method, which is coming from top to down, it comes from the Supreme Lord. He gave the knowledge to one person, that person gave knowledge down, that person gave knowledge down, and this is where in the bona fide disciplic succession, this knowledge is coming down. That is called disciplic succession, descending order of acquiring knowledge. So that is Shabda Praman. So Krishna is saying one should try to understand based on this disciplic succession. And Arjuna is also showing by his example. He is approaching to Krishna. Please, you instruct me. And why in first place we need a guru? Sometimes people argue, why I need guru? I can understand on my own. I am the guru of my own. So if you are the guru of your own, then you have got a fool as your disciple. Because somebody with the same level of consciousness with which he went into problem cannot solve the problem. So sometimes people argue, why I should surrender to somebody? Why should I surrender my freedom to somebody and take their advice? So why we need a guru? Because we cannot understand everything on our own. We need somebody as a higher authority who can guide us, who can give us the direction. And who can be a guru and who cannot be a guru? Let's first say who cannot be a guru. Guru cannot be somebody out of a custom, out of a family tradition. Oh, this is our guru, so we have to accept that person as our guru. No, we have to understand what is their contribution in our life. And guru is not somebody as a self-made guru. Somebody sitting in the caves and one day he comes out and claim, oh, I have got these revelations. I have been revealed. All this knowledge is revealed to me. So I am the guru now. No, guru is not as a self-made guru. He should be coming in a disciplic succession. He should belong to a parampara, a guru sampradaya. And we cannot accept somebody, some yogi, some mystic who shows some trick, produce some gold as guru. So that is not the qualification to become a guru, that some yogi who can show some tricks. And guru also does not mean somebody who is a Sanskrit scholar, okay, who knows a lot of shlokas to quote, to recite the shlokas. That is not also a qualification to be a guru. Then what are the qualifications to be a guru? One thing is he should be coming in a disciplic succession. Means a bona fide sampradaya. Lord Krishna gave the knowledge to Brahma, Brahma gave to Narada, Narada gave to Madhvacharya. In that way, the knowledge is passed down one after another. So that is sampradaya, guru disciplic succession. So somebody who comes in a bona fide guru parampara, he can be accepted as a guru. He is not a self-made guru, claiming that, oh, I did a lot of austerity, sitting 10 years in the cave and now everything appeared in my mind. No, that's not the process. He follows the scripture. He has the right understanding of the Shastra. And he preaches based on Shastras, not based on his own concoction. Oh, this is my understanding. This is not the question of my understanding. This is what Shastras are saying. So he follows the scripture. There are many self-made gurus in the world right now who do not accept the Shastra, who do not preach based on the Shastra, but they give their own concoctions. Okay, somebody say, oh, there are only 84 lakh, there are no 84 lakh yoniya, there are only 84 yoniya. From where did this come? Scripture says there are 8.4 million species of life. Somebody claims once a human is always a human. Now, from where did this come? Scriptures does not promote that. Today somebody is a human, tomorrow somebody can be a dog also. So people preach based on their own concoctions. But a bona fide guru is who follows the scripture. And he himself is a devotee of the Lord. And he can explain that knowledge to others also. So that is the qualification of a guru. And the most important qualification of a guru is he has control over his senses and mind. Jivha vegam udhara upastha vegam. Who can control the vegas of his senses, the vegas of his urges of senses. He has control over his speaking, he has control over his eating, control over his sleeping, control over his mind, control over his genitals. So somebody who has control over his senses and mind, he is qualified to become a guru. So these are the qualifications. And Arjuna in this case has used his intelligence to approach Krishna for guidance. In Arjuna's case, Krishna was personally present, who was able to guide. But then we can ask this question may come to our mind, then what about me? Arjuna's time, Krishna was personally present, what about me? For us also, that same knowledge is present in the form of Bhagavad Gita. And there are great acharyas who have given their commentary. And we are following the commentary given by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, who has explained that knowledge as it is for everybody to understand that same message. So with Krishna's mercy, we also have come to that point where we have access to a bona fide sampradaya, bona fide parampara, bona fide guru. And all we have to do is, Krishna has shown us the door, and we just need to knock on that door. We need to ring on that bell. So we don't have to just get away from that door. We just have to continuously ringing onto that bell, and Krishna will show us the way. Krishna will one day lead us to the Guru also, the right Guru, from where we can acquire knowledge. But for now, for time being, we can accept this Bhagavad Gita, the message of Krishna coming through the bona fide Acharya Srila Prabhupada as a Guru to guide us. So Arjuna has surrendered unto Krishna, and Arjuna is showing by his example what we should do. We should approach Bhagavad Gita and try to extract that knowledge to make our life successful. So far Krishna was telling Arjuna in a friendly talk. Okay, as two friends are talking and Krishna is giving us a pep talk. But now, as soon as Arjuna surrendered unto Krishna, accepting Krishna as his Guru, Krishna also immediately took the role of the Guru. And as soon as he took the role of a Guru, now first thing what Krishna does is he chastises Arjuna. Guru means heavy. Okay, Guru is not for sugarcoating the disciple. Guru's role is not to speak what the disciple will like to hear. Guru's role is to speak those things which are beneficial for the disciple, even though it may be little, sour also, it may be kadwa. गुरु के जो शब्द हैं वो थोड़ा कड़वा हो सकते हैं, तीखे हो सकते हैं, बट दिस इज फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द डिसाइपल. सो श्री भगवान उवाच अशोचयान अन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासून गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडितः. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, again it says, Supreme Personality of Godhead spoke. So what is the first thing Lord Krishna is speaking? Hey Arjuna, while speaking like a learned person, like a pandita, you are mourning for something which is not worthy of grief. Because a wise person does not lament for something living or nor for the dead. So very first thing which Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, that you are posing yourself as a wise person, as a pandita, but you are a fool number one. Why? Because you are lamenting for something which is not worthy of grief. Why? So far Arjuna was speaking very learned things, right? He was saying, oh, I don't want to fight with them. They are my family member. It will be sinful for me. If we even win, it will be tainted with their blood. So Arjuna, even though he is speaking like a very learned person, as if he has great knowledge of the Vedic principles, but Krishna immediately negated all these arguments of Arjuna, saying you are lamenting for something which is not worthy of lamenting. So Krishna immediately took the role of a guru and started chastising. And what Krishna is telling here, that you should not be lamenting for something, even though sometime what happen in our life, we may have certain situation where we lose something. Either we may sometime lose money, but do not lament for that. Sometime we may be disrespected also. Okay, don't lament for that. Earlier somebody may have given us a lot of respect. Now somebody did not give us the same level of respect. Okay, don't lament for that. Because these things will come and go. And Krishna is further going to explain that later in Bhagavad Gita in more detail about this. So, but what is the point Krishna telling here to Arjuna? In life many situations will come. And you have to make an ethical decision, not an emotional decision. With us, many times problem happens is we make decisions based on emotions. Oh, this person belongs to me. How can I chastise him for this wrong thing. No, but don't make emotional decision, make ethical decisions. So don't lament for something which is not worthy of lamentation. Why? Because all the days are not same. Sab din hot na ek saman. And one should understand, whatever Krishna is doing, whatever God is doing, that is for my benefit. Jo hari kare so mama hit. So one should keep these principles in mind. What is that? Sab din hot na ek saman. Not all the days are same. Jo hari kare so mama hit. Whatever God does, that is beneficial for me. So today, yes, person XYZ may be with me. Tomorrow, they may not stay with me. So what Krishna says, do not lament for these situations. Why? Now Krishna further start talking about the next section of this chapter, which is identity. As I said, the acronym to understand the flow of this chapter is Gita. G is Guru. So Arjuna has accepted Krishna as Guru. As soon as Krishna took the role of a Guru, what does he do? After negating Arjuna's arguments, Krishna is now giving the knowledge, identity. What is our real identity? Who we are? We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. So Krishna says, Natvevaham jatunasham natvam neme janadhipa nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. So Krishna says, never there was a time when you or me or all these kings were not present. And there will never a time when they will not be present in future also. So we are all eternal. Krishna started with this one principle. We are all eternal beings. We were present in the past also. We are present now in present also. We will be present in future also. Why? Because what is our real identity? We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. Dehino asmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantarah praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. So Krishna is speaking very wonderful principle here with analogy. Okay, Krishna explains with analogies also. So dehino asmin yatha dehe. Somebody who is residing inside this deha, the dehi who is living inside this deha, komaram yovanam jara. That dehi is passing from youth, from boyhood to youth to old age. Komaram yovanam jara. And as this deha is gone, tatha dehantara praptir, deha ant. When this body does not stay, this body is no more. देह अंत, जब इस शरीर का अंत हो गया, then dehi goes into another body, another deha. So Krishna has not used the word Atma here yet. Okay, Krishna, because Arjuna was on the level of body consciousness, Arjuna was at the level of body consciousness, Krishna is using the word deha and dehi. So what is deha? Deha is this body, and dehi is somebody who is occupying this body. Okay, so that is, in one sense, that is Atma. So Krishna is saying the soul within the body, as it passes within this body from boyhood to youth to old age. Similarly, at the end of this body, the soul will pass into another body. And a sober person, dhira, dhiras tatra na muhyati. A dhira is not bewildered by such change. So very important word, dhira, sober. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. First of all, Krishna is calling such person who understand the knowledge of soul, who understand the knowledge of reincarnation, punarjanma, as a sober person. Okay, dhira. In today's dictionary, sober person means somebody who has given up alcohol, right? Somebody who drinks alcohol, but he has now given up alcohol, so he is considered as a sober person. Or somebody who is, after drinking little bit alcohol, still can maintain control over his senses, is considered as a sober person. But here Krishna is saying sober person, a dhira, is somebody who is equipped with this knowledge. Why? Somebody who has gone out of the intoxication of bodily consciousness. That is a sober person. But ultimately here, what Krishna is telling us is the principle about the body and the soul. And Krishna is explaining with the example of analogy. Right? Within this body, we all have that experience. At some point of time, we were a small baby, a 6-month-old, 1-year-old, 2-year-old baby. Then we turn into a young boy, a teenager. Now we are in this particular body, 30, 40, 50 years old. And then somebody will grow older, 70 years old also, and people will die also. So, Komaram Yovanam Jara. Within this body, we are changing. This body is constantly changing. But the person residing in this body is the same. Okay, we say, I was like this. Now I am like this. Okay, I was used to be a small boy. Now I am a young man. So people speak like that. Why? The body has changed, but our identity is still the same. We still identify ourselves that, okay, this body belongs to me. This body is changing, but I am the same person. So first and foremost knowledge which Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita is our real identity, who we are. We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. And why Krishna explains this knowledge of the soul as the first and foremost? Because this is the most important knowledge. Unless we understand our real identity, there is no question for us to understand anything else. Okay, as you, for example, if you travel from India to America, okay, you get down from the plane and you come to the immigration. At the immigration, what do? You show your identity. They will ask you who you are, why you are here. Right? So you have to first show your identity to be able to give an entrance into the country. They will ask your passport, they will ask your visa or your citizenship card or whatever it is. So we have to show our identity. So same way, for us to be able to understand what is my purpose, we need to understand what is my identity. If you are hired for a job, if you are hired in a company, first day you go to the office, you go to join your new job, and they just give you your badge and they kind of throw you inside the door. Okay, go work. You will ask, first tell me, who am I in this company? What is my role here? Right? Am I the supervisor? Am I the engineer? Am I the manager? Who am I? So until we know what is my role here, we cannot act on that. Same way, until we understand what is my real identity, how can we act properly in this material world? So Krishna gives the first and foremost knowledge as the soul. We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. And what is the proof? Many people may not even understand or agree with this concept of Atma. Okay, in this audience, is everybody agreeing to this concept that we are Atma? There is something called Atma, soul. Okay, everybody accept that principle. We have heard about this terminology, right? Soul, Atma, Karma, Reincarnation. How many really accept that principle and act on that principle? Okay, at that time, at the time of Arjuna, these principles were well kind of sunk into the consciousness. In today's world, many people don't even accept these principles. I don't believe in Atma. I don't believe in reincarnation. Many people will claim like that. So many times we have to start with a very basic course. First, kind of bringing them to this basic understanding. What is Atma? What is the soul? What is reincarnation? Many people may ask, oh, we are very scientific people. Okay? We don't just believe in something. We have to see the proof. Can you show the proof that there is something like soul? What is the proof of soul's existence? So, yes, we are all very scientific people, and we can prove the existence of soul also Scientifically, first of all, many things can be understood with common sense. Right? Everybody agree with that? Many things can be understood with common sense also. But these days common sense is also not very common. So that's also an unfortunate situation. But even if we try to understand with common sense, we can make it out based on our day-to-day phrases, what we use, to understand that yes, there is something called soul. We are not the body, but the soul. What is that? When we talk about ourselves, what do we say? Okay, if I ask everybody to raise your hand, everybody can raise their hands. Okay, so raise your hand. Okay, if I ask, okay, Manoj Prabhu, what is this? What will you say? So what will you say? This is?
Right hand.
No, this is right hand. Okay, but you will say my hand? Or will you say I hand?
My hand.
Okay, so we'll say my hand. Okay, we'll say my kurta. We'll say my face, my hairs, my body. So we refer everything to as my. We don't say I hand. Okay, I face, I kurta. Now yes, there are concept of iPhone, iPad and whatnot. But what is the point here is we refer everything. This belongs to me. I am not this hand. I am not this kurta, but this belongs to me. Okay. Same way we say my body. We do not say I body. Right? In our common day phrase. Means this body belongs to me, but I am something separate from this body. And another common sense thing is when somebody dies, what do we say? We say Mr. Such and Such passed away. Right? So if we are just the body, nothing beyond that, and the body, the dead body is still lying there, then who passed away? The body is still there. You can still go. You can hug the body. You can kiss the body. So who has gone? Who has passed away? But we say, oh, he has passed away. He is gone. He is no more. So this common day phrases also again prove that there is something in the body which has now left the body because of the absence of that substance. Now this body is considered as a dead body. So that is the difference between a living body and a dead body. Living body means body plus the soul. Dead body means only body. The soul has left now. So absence of soul makes the body as a dead body. So we say, oh, such and such person, he, unka dehant ho gaya. Unki deh ka ant ho gaya. Dehant means his body has ended, but that person has not ended. We again say, wo chal base. Right? So somebody who all understand Hindi, we say, wo chal base. What is the meaning chal base? His body is still here. What is the meaning of chal base? Means he has left from here. Now he's gone somewhere else and he has now residing somewhere else. वो यहाँ से चले कहीं और जाकर बसे तो वो चल बसे. Means he has now moved to another body. So with all these common sense phrases, our common use phrases, this proves the existence of soul. That is common sense. Right? We utilize these phrases in our day-to-day life. But then scientifically also we can prove. What are the scientific proofs? There is near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences. There are so many scientific studies based on that somebody has experienced. Let's say one person, he's going through a surgery. And during the surgery, the doctors, they give him a kind of, anesthesia. Right? And that person is in a complete unconscious state at that time. He cannot feel anything. He cannot see anything. He cannot sense anything. But in that state also, there are so many cases people have reported that during surgery, after the surgery, when they came back into their consciousness, they were telling the doctor, hey, during this surgery, you were doing this and this to me. I was able to witness everything. How is that possible? Because the soul is something separate from the body. During the surgery, when the surgery is going on the body, the soul is present outside in the ether and able to witness everything. And then when the soul enters back after the surgery is done, the person comes back to consciousness, he reports back everything. In one particular instance, this person reported back, hey, when this surgery was going on, it was such a critical surgery, and there was so much of noise outside going on, the children playing soccer, and you guys were talking about the cricket also while doing the surgery. I was in such a state of this miserable condition, and you guys were very happily talking about some topic, and the doctors were surprised how this person can report back everything like that. He was in a complete anesthesia and not able to sense anything. That proves as an out-of-body experience. Okay, this is called out-of-body experience. And then near-death experience. There are so many cases of near-death experience that somebody has died and they are being taken, and then they come back into existence and they report back what they saw. There was a big tunnel of light and we were taken like this, and then we ran back and we came back here. So they report back their experiences in that state. That is called near-death experiences. So these are scientific studies which prove that there is something which is beyond this body, that is the soul, because of which the consciousness is there in the body. And then there are past life memories. Okay, past life memories also prove the existence of soul, that we are beyond this particular lifetime. And there are thousands of cases of past life memories. Okay, I will not go into too many details of that. So these are the proofs of the existence of soul. So Krishna is in one single verse, he has given us the concept of soul, that this body is not all in all. This body, as the soul within this body is passing from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul passes into another body at the time of death. And what is the nature of the soul? The soul which pervades this entire body is indestructible, avinashi. Nobody can destroy this soul. And this soul is also avyaya, means this is imperishable. So there is a difference between avinashi and avyaya. Avinashi means which cannot be destructed by external efforts. It cannot be cut by any weapon or burnt by fire. And avyaya means it does not die by itself also. It does not perish by itself also. See, in this world, generally the object, some object, either they can be destructed, right, by external means, or they will perish by itself. Like the milk will perish with time, right? It will go bad with passing of time, or some other food stuff also, or even the buildings, big buildings, they perish with time, even if nobody destroys them, but with time they will just perish. So that is the nature in this world. Either something can be destroyed or something just destroy itself, perish by itself. But the soul, the nature of the soul is it's indestructible and it is imperishable. Avinashi and avyaya. And then the soul, again Krishna says, it's aprameyasya. The soul is invisible, it's immeasurable. The size of the soul, because somebody may question, okay, what is the size of the soul? Can I see the soul? Krishna says, no, you cannot see the soul. Why? Because the soul is so tiny, it's invisible. Aprameyasya. So what is the size of the soul? So Upanishads explain actually, the size of the soul is so small that if you take the tip of the hair means not like the first 2 millimeter of hair or something. The really literal meaning of the tip of the hair as the round circle of the hair. So if you take the tip of the hair, then cut that tip into 1,000 pieces. Again take that one piece. Again cut that one piece into 1,000 pieces. That is like the size of the soul. Now can somebody measure the tip of the hair? Or by cutting into 1,000 and again into 1,000 pieces? So that is the size of the soul. Soul is so small, it's invisible. And the nature of the soul is even we cannot see the soul with our material eyes. And Krishna says the soul cannot be killed. Soul is imperishable. Soul is invisible. Now in that way, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you were talking about killing your relatives, but you should understand the soul cannot be killed. Only the body is destroyed, but the soul does not die. We all were present in the past. We are now existing and we will be existing in future also. So you should not worry about discharging your duty of giving punishment to these miscreants. Now the question may come, is Krishna invoking Arjuna for whimsical killing? Or is Bhagavad Gita promoting violence on the name of that soul cannot be killed, so you can go kill somebody because the soul is anyways not killed? So is Bhagavad Gita promoting violence? No. Answer is no. Bhagavad Gita is not promoting violence. But in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is telling Arjuna is, do not step back from performing your duty on the bodily consciousness. But Bhagavad Gita is not promoting violence. Okay? Because our scriptures are talking on the principle of ma hinsayat sarva bhutani. One should never commit violence to other living entities. Okay? Ma hinsayat sarva bhutani. So Bhagavad Gita is not promoting violence, but there are certain scenarios where violence is needed. What are those scenarios? When somebody has to uphold the law and order. In that case, violence is needed sometime, because if law and order, to maintain the law and order, every country, they have their police department, they have their army, and to protect their country, their state, sometime to maintain the law and order, sometime violence is needed. So violence also has its utility, and one should not step back from doing its duty on the matter of bodily consciousness. That is what Bhagavad Gita is telling. So again, Bhagavad Gita is telling, don't make emotional decision, make ethical decision. Another example is when doctor is trying to cure the patient, doctor may be performing the surgery. In that case, doctor sometime cuts open the body of the patient and removes certain portion, some tumor or something. And to an unintelligent person, it may appear as doctor performing violence onto that person. But is this really violence? Doctor is not doing violence, but he is curing that patient, removing the bad portion, the diseased portion out, so that this disease does not spread into the body. So it's not a violence, but it is cure for the patient. So there are certain scenarios where violence is permitted. And when the judge rewards somebody or punishes somebody, when the judge is maybe even giving death sentence to somebody, now that is not violence to that person. Actually, while giving a death sentence also, or some punishment also for, let's say, 14-year imprisonment or lifetime imprisonment in jail, that's also for the benefit of that person, to protect that person from the future suffering. Because if that punishment is not given to this person, he will continue with his sinful activities, and he has to suffer a greater amount in the future. So by giving him that punishment, actually he is saved from the more amount of future suffering, bigger amount of suffering. So that's why it's not called violence, but it is performing one's duty on the right consciousness. And then further, Krishna says about the nature of the soul, na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah ajoh nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Okay, so what is Krishna saying? When the body takes birth, this soul does not take birth at that time. Na jayate. This soul is never born at any particular time. Body takes birth, but that is not the starting for the soul. Mriyateva. The body dies, but the soul does not die. The soul was existing ever. Ajo. This is eternal. Shashvato. Yam Purano. And this is the oldest. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. When the body dies, the soul does not die. Okay, so what does it mean is, Krishna is now taking us to the next step, that yes, we are different from the body. This life is not all in all. This life is not the only life. We were existing earlier than this life also. We will exist after this life also. So this takes us to the concept of reincarnation, punarjanma. In this world, there are so many things which cannot be explained without the understanding of soul, karma and reincarnation. Okay, so these three words, these three terminologies, soul, karma and reincarnation. Without this, you cannot answer so many questions. That's why people from other faith, be it Christianity, Islam, Judaism, when they cannot understand the various things, they ultimately take shelter of Sanatan Dharma. Because in Sanatan Dharma, the complete package, complete understanding is there, and people come to the right understanding why these things happen. Many times this question comes, why is something bad happen in this world? Sometimes good people are also seen suffering, or sometimes the most wretched people are seen to be enjoying. Why these things happen? Is there no law and order, no justice there? Somebody is born diseased, somebody is born very healthy, somebody is born very poor, somebody is born rich, somebody is born handsome, somebody is born ugly, somebody has a long duration of life, somebody dies at a very short age. Why does all these things happen? Why there is so much of discrimination there in one sense? Is God partial? Why he will do something to one person and something else to another person? Is God not equal? So without understanding the concept of karma and reincarnation, one cannot understand these things. Then one will have doubt in the existence of God, in the loving nature or the all-powerful, all-equal nature of God. They will start kind of representing the God, or having misconceptions about God. So when we see something bad happening with somebody, we have to understand this is coming based on their previous life expressions or previous life karma, which is continuing into this life, and that's why he is reaping the result of that. Or at the same time, somebody is having a lot of opulences and enjoying in this life, again coming from his previous life. He has the result of good karma which is carrying on, and that's why he is able to enjoy in this life. So the concept of reincarnation, punarjanma, is very important to understand these things. Now again, giving the example of maybe cricket test match. Okay, in test match what happens, in the first inning the two teams maybe had certain score. So one team had, for example, 400 score, another team had 200 score. So the first team is leading by 200. Now the second inning has started. So the scoreboard shows, let's say, Pakistan at 200, India at 0. And this is the starting of the second inning. And somebody who has just come into the stadium and saw this scoreboard, the inning is just starting, match is just starting, but one team is awarded 200 score, another is at 0. He will say, oh, this is injustice. How come one team is already awarded this much score? But he does not know that first inning has already happened. In the first inning, one team scored more than the other one, and they are carrying forward that score. So that's why this score is represented. So exactly that's happened in our lives also. Somebody we can see now enjoying some opulences because they are leading, carrying forward that previous score in this life. And somebody may be suffering because again they are carrying the previous negative score in this life. So that is the concept of reincarnation, and Krishna is saying this body dies, the soul does not die, it continues on from one lifetime to another. And then Krishna gives a very, very important point here. Okay, who decides, how it is decided, what type of body we will get? Who decides that? On what factors it is decided? So text 2.22 is a very famous shloka, very important one. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grahanati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So Krishna says, just as human being, he gives up the old garment and puts on the new garment. Similarly, the soul accepts new body after giving up the old and useless ones. So Krishna is explaining with analogy of the garments. Okay, in our life, we give up the old clothes and we put on the new clothes. When the old clothes are either torn out or our size has grown, right? Either vertically or horizontally our size has grown, so we give up the old clothes and put on new clothes. So same way the soul gives up the old and useless bodies and accept new body. So that is again the principle of reincarnation. And who will decide what type of body I may get? That again depends on our desires and what we deserve. Okay, so I explain it with the 2D principle. 2D, desire and deserve. Not just the desires, because somebody may desire that, oh, I want to be born in the family of Tata Birlas, I want to be born in the family of Ambanis, but it just does not happen based on our desire. We have to deserve also. So desire and deserve. So for example, if you go for shopping and you want to buy clothes, so you go to a cloth shop and now the salesperson will ask you, so what do you want to buy? And you may say, oh, I want to buy a sari. For example, some Mataji may go for shopping sari. So I want to buy a sari. Okay, then what type of sari? Do you want cotton sari? You want silk sari? You want a regular wear sari? You want a party wear sari? So what kind of sari do you want? Because there are so many varieties within that one particular type also. So then on what factor does it depend which sari will you buy? It's based on your desire that, oh, I want to buy a party wear sari. And that also then will depend on how much money you have in your wallet. Because the salesperson may tell you, I have a 1,000 rupee sari also and 10 lakh rupee sari also. So what is your budget? What do you want to buy? Right? So it depends on your budget also. So that's where the concept comes, desire and deserve. How much amount of bank balance of karma we have, based on which it will be decided, are we born into the family of rich person or into the family of a poor person? Will be born into a family of as a human being or into the family of a dog or a pig or something. So that is based on desire and deserve. So somebody can be promoted to a higher species of life also. Somebody can be demoted to a lower species of life also. Again based on their desire and deserve. If somebody is too much interested in eating flesh, okay, the law of nature will say, okay, that is your desire, you want to eat flesh, you will be put into a species which is meant for eating flesh, like the body of a beast. Somebody is interested in too much of sleeping for 12 hours, 15 hours. Okay, you will be put into a body which is meant for sleeping long time, like a deer, right? A polar bear or something. So in that way, based on our desire and deserve, the next body is decided. Just like somebody right now may be living in a 2-bedroom apartment. If they can afford better, if they have more money and they have a desire to move to a 3-bedroom apartment or to an independent house, so based on their ability of deserve or based on what is available in their bank balance, they can be promoted, they can go to a higher grade also. But if somebody is moved up to a higher grade but now they are not able to pay back their mortgage, they are not able to pay back the home, what will happen? The lending company will throw them out and they will put their house on for sale. So they will be demoted back to be living in either a 1-bedroom studio apartment or something based on what they can afford. So somebody can be promoted to a higher life situation also, somebody can be demoted to a lower life situation also. So it depends on our desire and deserve. And there is another factor also which is very important, which decides what kind of life one may attain. That is a third principle which will be explained later in chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita. That is called the law of last thought. Okay. So I will not discuss that right now. We will discuss that when we move to chapter 8. So that is the third factor which decides what kind of life situation one may get in the next lifetime. So here in this verse, Krishna with again analogy is telling a very important point of the nature of soul. And Further, Krishna says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kaledyanti apo, na soshyati marutaha. The nature of soul is soul cannot be cut by any weapon. Na chindanti shastrani. Nainam dahati pavaka. It cannot be burnt by fire. Na chainam kaledyanti apo. It cannot be moistened by water. Na soshyati marutaha. It cannot be withered by the wind. Why? Because let's say Arjuna in his mind is thinking, oh, if I have to fight in this war, I will be shooting so many arrows. What if the arrow pierces through the body and it pierces through the soul also? Then what will happen? So Krishna is saying, Nainam chindanti shastrani. The soul cannot be cut into pieces by weapon. We can cut the body, but the soul cannot be cut. Nainam dahati pavaka. Arjuna was thinking, I will be shooting fire weapon also. Agni astra. So what if when body is burned, the soul inside also will be burned? Krishna is saying the soul is not burned. We put the dead body into fire, that time the soul has already left, but in any case the soul cannot be burned. Na chainam kaledyanti apo. Arjuna is thinking, I am to shoot rain weapon also. I am going to bring tornadoes, okay, and shower lot of rain. What will, if everything gets drowned and the soul also will be drowned? Krishna says soul cannot be drowned. It cannot be moistened by the water and withered by the wind. We see all these big buildings, when earthquake come, when tornado come, so big buildings can be destroyed, but the soul cannot be destroyed even by a big blow of wind also. So that is the nature of the soul. No modern weapon can destroy the soul. Modern weapon can control the material nature through technology, and if that technology falls into the untrained hand, it can cause so much of havoc. Like we see atom bombs, nuclear bombs and all, but they can cause so much of destruction. But the nature of soul is the soul cannot be destroyed. So with our modern weapons, we can try to control the nature, but in the earlier time, by pleasing the particular in charges of the nature, one could acquire those sort of powers. So what modern weapons can do, this atom bomb and nuclear bomb, that time earlier, these weapons were available. And Hitler has some idea about this atom bomb and nuclear bomb. By looking at the weapons being used in the Mahabharat war, by hearing about those, he had certain ideas, and he was thinking somebody who has the knowledge of this Vedic scriptures should be able to produce that sort of weapon. So at least Hitler had that kind of understanding, that kind of idea. And Hitler thought himself to be an Aryan, that I belong to an Aryan race. This whole concept of Aryan, which is present now in current society, it's a very perverted concept of being Aryan. But here, what we are talking about is Krishna is giving the first and foremost knowledge as the knowledge of soul and the concept of reincarnation, our real identity. And also by telling this principle, Krishna is telling Arjuna that in all these situations of life, you should try to tolerate. Don't get disturbed by the external situations of life. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agma apayano nitya stam titikshasva bharata. So Krishna is saying these situations of heat and cold, shitoshna, sukha dukkha, happiness and distress, honor and dishonor, these will come and go like the winter and summer season. Like the summer comes and goes, winter comes and go. So the external situations of life also come and go. And one should try to tolerate this situation. And one should not get diverted from performing one's duty in the calamities of these external circumstances. So what Krishna is saying is, khushi mein uchalna nahi aur dukh mein fisalna nahi. Again, the concept of sab din hot na ek saman. Not all the days are same. So when we come across these tough times in our life, one should try to tolerate these situations, understanding one's real identity, that why these things may be happen. This is again as per the will of the Lord. And this is not I am not as a body who is suffering. So after explaining this whole concept, next concept which Krishna talks about is two duties, Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. Now we have only reached maybe halfway of this chapter. It's a long chapter. If everybody feels we should stop here, then we can stop and maybe finish this chapter in 2 sittings rather than in 1 sitting. Okay, what is everybody's opinion here?
I said no. Wait, what?
Okay, so you think we should finish the second part of the chapter in the next session, or you will like to continue for another 45 minutes or so? It may be long. What is it? Please feel free to speak up.
I think it's better to go for next session.
Okay, it's better to move for the next session. So yes, that is fine, because we should be able to absorb also everything, right? It's rather than just trying to complete in one session. Let's do chapter 2 in 2 sittings. So we have finished only the first half part, G as Guru, and then I as our real identity, the understanding the concept of soul, reincarnation. So we'll move on to the next section, which is Krishna talking about Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma, our duties based on bodily designation and our real duty at the level of soul, right? Our eternal occupation. So there Krishna will be talking about different karma, okay? Moving from Vikarma to Sakama Karma to Nishkama Karma, then bringing to the level of Karma Yoga. And a very famous verse in second chapter is Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karmaphala heturbhur ma te sango astava karmani. So we'll discuss that also in the next session. And then finally Krishna is going to speak about Asthita Pragya. Sthita Pragya means somebody who is with steady intelligence. Okay? And what are the characteristics of a person who has steady intelligence? And also that steady intelligence person, a Sthita Pragya person, can attain peace in life. So Krishna is going to speak about the peace formula also. Okay, everybody in this life, in this world, they want to find happiness and peace, right? Everybody is looking for peace and happiness. Nobody wants to be miserable. So Krishna is going to speak about the peace formula and the happiness formula in this last section of chapter 2. We all have a different understanding of peace and happiness in this life. We relate to happiness either with a lot of money, with big house, cars, by having a lot of opulences or name, fame in the society. We think these things are directly related to happiness. Okay, so that is a complete wrong understanding of happiness and peace. And Krishna is going to give the real peace and happiness formula towards the end of this chapter. So we'll hear that in the next session. So thank you very much. I will stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. So we'll open for any questions. Say if anybody has any questions, comments, please feel free to ask. And again, for question answer session, if you want to turn on your cameras, please feel free, so I am not speaking to some black box here.
Excuse me.
Yes. Any questions?
No. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I hope it clarifies a lot of things and a lot of concepts. Okay, if no questions, we can end it here. And I will not have the Kahoot session today because we will do that once the chapter 2 is finished. So I know last time we had a Kahoot session also as a quiz session at the end of chapter. But today, because we did not finish the chapter yet, we'll hold on to that and we'll do it in the next session. Okay, Shakuntala Mataji, you have any question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, just what you have discussed about the karma and all, I just have a doubt and I just want to get clear in that, because I heard someone saying, I mean, few years back, some ancestors also, they used to say that the karma, so if you do good things, okay, you get a good karma. If you do bad, and okay, you'll get the bad things.
Right.
So, is that karma linked to the what you say, some parents to their kids? Because sometimes they used to say, my grandparents and also because your parents have done the good thing, so it is you are reaping the rewards, so that you are getting the what do you say, the good things in your life. So is it that so, or only the individuals it is they are getting?
Okay, very good question. So is this karma is coming based on that individual person, or other person's karma can also affect us? So the concept of karma, actually it applies on the individual. Everybody carries their own baggage of karma, but based on our individual karmas, we may be brought together. Okay, so for example, somebody is opulent, is a very rich person, and they have a particular son also, is born to them. So both have that same level of karma because of which they have those opulences. But now, in the same way, amount of suffering also, everybody gets to their level of proportionate based on their individual karma. For example, I will give you an example. Okay, a child is born in a diseased condition. Okay, so the child is suffering because of his previous karma. That particular living entity is carrying forward his previous karma, because of which he is going through that suffering. But the parents also have a particular karma, because of which they are also getting their share of suffering. Somebody is having bodily suffering, somebody is having a mental level of suffering. Right? The person who is diseased in the family, he is going through physical pain. But the other family members, they are going through emotional pain. So everybody has their own level of karma which they are suffering, but Krishna brings us together based on their proportionate. So there is sometimes it's a topic of what we call as individual karma and collective karma also. Collective karma, when we say collective karma, it's not that somebody's karma is affecting, but collective karma means Krishna brings together the people of the same type of karma. Okay, so Krishna brings them together. For example, another example to clarify this point, let's say there are 100 people traveling in the train, and that train has an accident. Okay, in that train, in the accident, 50 people are killed. And then 50 people or 30 people have some level of injuries. And there are maybe 20 people who had minor scratches or something. Okay. So again, Krishna brought everybody together based on their type of karma and just awarded them their karma in one shot. Okay. But somebody who had to go through only at a mental level, that torture, even though they are saved, they just got that type of suffering, right? That type of reaction, that they did not die, but they had to just go through that trauma. So Krishna just brings us together based on our level of karma and type of karma. And karma matures. The concept of karma is a big topic actually, and we'll discuss again when we go into 3rd chapter and 5th chapter also. We'll talk about the concept of karma in more details also. But Krishna says Gahana Karmano Gati. Okay, to understand the complexities of karma is very difficult. Okay, one cannot say this karma, because of this karma, this result is coming. Because of this karma, this result is coming. We cannot get into nitty and gritty of that details. So it's very difficult. But one at big level, what we should understand is how the karma acts is, if somebody is doing 10 good karma, he has to get the result of 10 good karma. He will reap the result of those 10 good karma. And somebody is doing 5 bad karma, he has to get the result of those bad activities also. So it's not that did 10 good karma, 5 bad karma, 5 bad karma is cancelled with 5 good karma and let me just get the result of 5 good karma. Okay, so you cannot start maintaining a diary. Oh, today I did this good karma and then I did this 1 bad karma. So good karma, bad karma cancelled out and I did this 3rd good karma. So I will get the result of only this 1 good karma. It does not work like this. One has to get the result of each good karma also and bad karma also. Right? Sometimes people say, why is this bad happening to me? I never did anything bad. Okay, you are talking about this lifetime only. But Krishna remembers all our previous lifetimes. And what we have done in our previous lifetimes, Krishna knows the record of each and every activity. So when we say, oh, I never did anything bad, I am such a good person, why something bad is happening to me? That's not a logical question. Okay, because we do not know what we have done. We don't even remember in this lifetime also, first of all. Right? What we may have done wrong in our earlier years of this life. What to speak of the previous lifetimes. And there is a beautiful story about that. I think I will explain that story, quote that story in the next session. Okay? Does that answer?
One more question.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, even if they, okay, you're just saying a previous in life, whatever we have done, so now we have to suffer that, whether in terms of good or bad. But some of them say the karmas, I mean, what you say, in this life we have to face whatever we have done. That is the end.
Okay.
So that is, I mean, the previous life, it is not carried to this and this life things, because they say whatever we are doing here in this janma, here we have to face it.
Okay. Again, that is not as per the Shastra. Okay, somebody can come up with their own mental speculation, their concoction, but that is not as per the Shastras. What scriptures are telling is, one, this karma continues. Some people don't accept the concept of reincarnation. They say this life is only all. Whatever you do in this life, you have to face in this lifetime. There is no question of hell. There is no question of heaven. There is no hell or heaven. This is only life, and जो भी हमने पाप पुण्य किया है सभी इसी लाइफ में आपको भुगतना पड़ेगा. Right? That's what they claim. But again, that is not the right concept. That is not as per the scriptures. The karma carries forward from previous life to this life also. I will give you another very simple example to understand this. Okay, some karma, they fructify very quickly. Okay, there are some karmas you can get instant reaction. Okay, so for some karma you may do the karma now and within 1 hour you may get the result also. Okay, for example, somebody walking on the street and somebody is coming from the front, you just slap that person. Okay, that person may slap you back. Okay, instant reaction. That is called instant reaction. So उसी समय उसका कर्मा का फल मिल गया. Or somebody may do something bad, but he steps forward and then he slips and falls down. Immediate reaction. Okay, so that is called instant karma. Some karma where you can get the result maybe in few days or next day. Let's say in the night, at night you ate very spicy food. Okay, or you overate. Next morning there is so much burning sensation in the stomach. And you may be wondering, Arey, since morning I did not eat anything, why my stomach is burning? Right? But doctor will ask you, okay, tell me what did you eat previous night? Right? Doctor will not say, tell me what you ate in the breakfast only. Doctor will say, what did you eat in the previous night? So because of that, you are facing this consequence now. So previous day, what we did, result coming next day. Okay, so little delayed reaction. Then the result may come few months later also. Just like you plant a tree, plant a small creeper. Let's say summer season now, people put some vegetable plants. Okay, you put a tomato plant, cucumber plant. So today you put the seed, you put the small seedling, and the plant will grow up in 1 month, 2 months, and then the fruit will start coming. The tomatoes will start coming, the cucumber will start coming. It took them 60 days, 90 days for the result to come. Right? So same way for karma also. Some karma we did, the result will come maybe little bit later, delayed, 2-3 months down the line. So that is little delayed reaction. Then result may come few years later also. You did something today, but the result will come few years later. Okay, just like again example of planting a tree. You plant a lemon tree today. First year you may not get any fruit, any lemon. Or you plant an apple tree or a mango tree. The first mango, first apple, first lemon will come maybe next year or 2 years later. Okay, so that is little bit delayed again reaction. Same way karma also. We may do some karma today, but the result will come few years down the line. Then some result may come 10, 20, 30 years later also. Okay, you plant a coconut tree. The first coconut will come maybe 20 years later on the tree. Okay, same way somebody is smoking. Okay, somebody is smoking and using drugs or something, and he may feel, oh, I have been smoking for 5 years, nothing happened to me, see. But just wait. The result is yet to come. You are going to face the consequences. Somebody may get a lung cancer or mouth ulcers or something. So that result is bound to come. It may be a little delayed reaction. And then there are certain other result also which we may not experience within this lifetime also, which may come in the next lifetime. Okay, result is somebody may plant a tree, the whole life he may not get the fruit from that tree. His grandchildren maybe get the fruit. Okay, so same way here our karma, we may not experience that karma within this lifetime. It will come maybe in the future lifetime. We have to face. Again, there is an interesting story to kind of depict that particular point, and we will discuss that story in the next session. Okay, but I hope this briefly explain your this concept and explain or kind of answers your question.
Yes.
Okay, Manoj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, my question is like, if we do bhakti, does that previous karma, previous bad karma or whatever things, does it get nullified because of that? Or it's like it, or its effect get less? Like, how is it? Like, is there any relation for that one?
Okay, again, very good question. Is there a method which can destroy our previous karma, right? Which can, so that we don't have to get the result of that karma. So that is the kind
one of
question. So is there something, or we may name it as bhakti, or is there any other process? So yes, by Krishna will tell that at the end of Bhagavad Gita, right, in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shuchaha. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami ma shuchaha. So Krishna says, I can destroy all your previous sinful reaction. Do not worry. What you have to do? Surrender unto me. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. So when we surrender unto Krishna, when we accept Krishna and render devotional service unto Krishna, Krishna can burn up all the result of our previous sinful reaction, so that we don't have to face. So now karma is also in 2 stages. Okay, again kind of linking with previous Mataji's question also, Shkuntala Mataji's question also. So what we are experiencing in this lifetime, that is called prarabdha, which is fructified karma. Okay, so the karma, we have a big heap of karma. Some of that karma has now fructified. It is in the mature stage. That is our current situations of life. So that is called prarabdha. So whatever prarabdha is there for this lifetime, we have to go through that. But there are much of the karma which is still in the seedling stage, which is still in the form of seed, which has not fructified yet. Okay, which is called aprarabdha. So prarabdha is what we are facing right now in this lifetime. Aprarabdha is which is still in a seed form. So Krishna destroys all that aprarabdha karma when we surrender unto Krishna. But whatever is prarabdha, whatever our life situations in this lifetime are, we have to go through that. But for that also Krishna minimizes. Okay, so Krishna minimizes our prarabdha also, or Krishna gives us the strength to face that karma. So we are not bothered about those situations of life. Somebody, for example, is going through some medical situation. He is facing some disease. Now, if he start doing bhakti, does it mean his disease will be cured? But because Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo. So person may think, oh, I am now doing bhakti of Krishna, so I should be cured of my disease. No, it's not that the prarabdha is completely eliminated, but the effect of that disease on us is minimized. One may be able to handle that situation in a proper right consciousness. Okay, that will again we are going to discuss in the second part of second chapter also. Krishna is going to talk about that when we talk about the peace and happiness. And Krishna says, Prasade sarva dukkhanam. Okay, when somebody gets the mercy of the Lord, he is free from the threefold miseries of life. So what does it really mean that he will be freed from the threefold miseries of life? Okay, so it means the miseries will remain, no doubt, because the calamities of the nature. Okay, if there is sometime earthquake or tsunami, it's not that bhaktas are free from the natural calamities, right? That on the house of a devotee, earthquake does not act or the tsunami does not act. No, it's not like that. But they have the ability to face those situations in a right consciousness. Krishna gives us the ability to tolerate those situations. So yes, there is prarabdha karma that we have to go through, and Krishna gives us the ability to handle that prarabdha. There is aprarabdha karma, Krishna nullifies that aprarabdha karma. That we don't have to again come back to get the result of all that karma also.
Got it, bro. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, good questions. As I said, questions are very important for any understanding. All the scriptures are in the form of question answers. Arjuna is constantly asking questions. That's how the Bhagavad Gita progresses. It's not that Krishna is just speaking and no questions allowed. Arjuna is asking questions. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna further says, okay, are your doubts clear now? Or do you still have any question? I am ready to speak again also if you want. So that is how the discussion progresses. Okay, and other scriptures also, be it Srimad Bhagavatam or the Upanishads also many times in question answer format. So I highly encourage this question answer because it enrich our learning, our experience. Okay, anything else from anybody? Okay, if not, then we will end it here. Once again, thank you everyone for joining today, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Thank you so much, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.